Hello, Miss Daylight Clay back again, as I said, and I'm getting ready to make my turkey stew. Here are my potatoes, my carrots, and my celery, and here is all the turkey meat that fell off those daggone bones, and it's a lot. It's really too much to put into one turkey uh, stew slash casserole dish. And this is the cornstarch that I'm using. I got some cornstarch right here. I got it mixed there with some oil and my seasonings. As you can see, because I want flavor, the cornstarch and oil is seasoned. The turkey is seasoned. And the potatoes and carrots and celery is seasoned. And here is that broth that I was telling you about that's going to make the gravy. So what I'm going to do, because the potatoes are already cooked, the turkey is already cooked, and the cornstarch is ready, and here are my Brussels sprouts. So I'm going to start to add the cornstarch to this hot liquid, because the cornstarch has to be added to hot liquid. And you can use cornstarch, you can use flour, whatever you like. I prefer to use cornstarch. So I'm going to start adding the cornstarch to this mixture of the turkey base, the turkey broth, and I'm just going to add it until it gets thick. And I have the rest of the broth over there. I'm going to add a little bit more like this. I'm just going to pour it in there like that, and you have to stir it. You have to stir it so there are no lumps. There are no lumps. And I might have a little bit more broth, per this, but it is thickening up really, really good. It's thickening up really, really good. So, and I'm going to add the rest of it because I want it to be like you can eat with the biscuit, or I want it to stick to the food. So by me holding the camera, it's a little bit hard, but I'm going to manage, right? So I'm going to put all this in there, and it has to be added to boiling water so you can cook the cornstarch into the water. And when it get to the consistency that I like, then I will add the turkey, and I will add the carrots, and I will add the Brussels sprouts. So right now, the cornstarch is cooking, and I can feel with my whisk that it's thickening up. It's not the consistency that I want right now. So I'm going to put the phone down for a minute, and I'm going to scrape the bowl because there's more in there, and I want all of that out. So, okay, so just give me a minute. Okay, so I've cleaned the bowl. I've cleaned the bowl with the cornstarch and the oil. And here's the pot. And like I say, I might have to add more to get it to the consistency that I want. But the heat is going to thicken it. And I can feel by stirring the bottom of the pot, it's getting thickened, but it's not yet at the consistency that I want. And flour, I guess, is always better, but I chose to use cornstarch. So, it's still boiling, and I want it to get to the consistency where it's going to stick to the potatoes, it's going to stick to the turkey, it's going to be so succulent. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for a soup base. I'm looking for more like a casserole, or like a pot pie, or like maybe like a turkey pot pie. So that's the consistency that I'm looking for. So it's boiling, And I'm going to keep my eyes on it because I want it to be kind of thick. And it's not getting to the thickness that I want in the time allowed. So I'm going to stop the camera for a minute and I'm going to add some flour. And the reason why I'm going to say that is because flour has a greater consistency than cornstarch. So give me a minute. Okay, so it's still boiling, but it hasn't gotten to the consistency that I would like. And you can see, let me step back for a minute. It's thin. It's thin. So what I just did was I used cornstarch at first, and you can see that. So I went and mixed some flour and water, and you have to make sure that the flour and water is not lumpy. You have to make sure you get all those lumps out, because if you put the flour in that water with all those lumps, then you're going to have lumps in your gravy or in your sauce. And this is going to be like a turkey pot pie. Turkey pot pie. And if I had the time, I would put it in a pie shell. But I don't, have the time right now to do it. But this is something that you can do. Hey, what's in your kitchen? You have pie shells in your kitchen? Do you want to make some homemade dough? Me, not now because it's really late. So I'm going to just keep stirring this until all the lumps get out. All the lumps. You can't have no lumps. That's why you see some people, they have like a lumpy gravy. And that's because they didn't whip the flour enough to get all the lumps out. So I got to keep stirring it until I get the lumps out. And then you will see the difference in the cornstarch and the flour. Even though I prefer to use cornstarch, it doesn't thicken as much as flour does. So I'm getting there. I'm getting all those lumps out. And that yellow up there, that's the cornstarch. So, and this here is the flour. So I'm trying to see how smooth that is. I'm getting all those lumps out. And this will not even take long. So once I add the cornstarch and once I add the flour and it get to the consistency that I want, then I can add the turkey, I can add the vegetables, and I can add the Brussels sprouts because they're already cooked. So, okay. So here I go. The water is really hot, and that's the way it should be to break everything down. To break everything down. And so I don't want it to be really thick, but I want it to just stick to the meat. So you really have to stir. So I'm going to pour, stop, and I got to stir. You got to stir. That keeps it from bubbling up. That keeps it from getting all those lumps in it. It just smooths it out. And of course, right now, there's a total difference in the feel of the consistency. I don't want to get messy over here, okay? But yeah, it feels like I got a little spoon here so we can see. Okay. Now I have to cook this flour, right? I have to cook it. It might seem like a long process, but it's really not. My only thing was I wanted to use cornstarch. I wanted to use cornstarch because I think probably, I don't know for sure, but I think that cornstarch might be better than flour. So it's really boiling really good. We're going to break all those enzymes down and things like that, and yes, it's thickening up. Okay, so I don't want to add more flour or anything like that until I don't want to add my food, my turkey or my potatoes to it until I know that the flour has really been cooked into the liquid. So we're going to keep stirring it. And it's not where I wanted it yet. So I'm going to add a little bit more. Not a lot. So here I go. See what I'm doing, how much I'm going to add. That's enough. That's enough. And of course, the water boiling is doing its thing. Yes, it is. It's doing its thing. And the more I add to it, the thicker it gets. Always remember, it gets thicker the more you add to it. So now, I seasoned the cornstarch. So I'm still whipping it because I want it to be smooth. I want it to be smooth. And you have to continue to stir it. You have to stir it. Because you want to make sure that that flour breaks up and that flour is absorbed in the liquid. And so you don't have no lumps, you know. So it's still not where I wanted it. I want it to be like I said, like a pot pie or like a turkey pot pie. So I'm going to let it cook for a little bit. I'm going to let it cook for a little bit. I'm going to let it reduce down. And then once it reduces down and it's getting there, oh my. What's in your kitchen? So I'm going to keep on letting this reduce down. I got to cook this flour. I'm not making dumplings, you know, because sometimes that flour can get really thick. And it'd be like dumplings. So I'm not making dumplings. What I'm trying to do is just have a sauce that's going to stick to the potatoes. It's going to stick to the turkey. It's going to be like a pot pie. You know how you buy a pot pie? It's all so succulent and everything is like, you know, it's just stuck together. You know, it's like your potatoes are really saucy and, you know, your chicken is really saucy. Everything is really saucy. So I'm continuing to stir it. And I'm going to taste it to see if it has the flavor that I want. Because this is the turkey broth that I seasoned. And I added some cornstarch first. It didn't give it the thickness that I wanted. So then I added some flour. And of course the flour is giving it the thickness that I want. And I don't want the flour to be lumpy. I don't want the flour to be light. I want it to stick to everything. So see this what I'm getting out? See, all this has to go. You don't want that in there. Okay? So it's steady boiling. You want to take all the lumps out. You got a whisk like this, then it will get caught up in there. See, like so. And you don't want that. You want to bring it back, and you want to bring it back clean. And you want to continue to whisk it, and it's on high heat. And it has to be on high heat. That's the only way you can cook that flour into that base is on high heat. And you have to continue to stir it. You have to stir it. Or what I'm doing, I'm whisking. I'm keeping it from sticking to the pot. I'm trying to get it uniformed. And I'm making a gravy. This is a gravy. It's a gravy. And as I continue to stir, it's getting thicker and thicker and thicker and thicker. So now I'm going to taste it before I add any other ingredients in it. I'm going to taste it just to make sure that it's flavored really good. So it looks like a chicken stock, a chicken gravy. Don't that look good? Look at there. Let me taste it and see if it's flavorful. Campbell's couldn't have made a better seafood. I'm sorry. Campbell's couldn't have made a better broth. This broth is absolutely delicious. It kind of reminds me of, but it has a little bit more flavor It kind of reminds me of the chicken noodle soup. Chicken noodle soup. And just remember that I boiled my turkey in here. I boiled the turkey in here and it's thickening up. It's really, really thickening up. It's thickening up. I boiled my turkey in here. I took my turkey out. And once I took the turkey out, see, okay, so the sauce is getting better. It's getting thicker. Wow, don't that look good? Let me show you. So I'm going to continue to cook this for about 2 minutes. Give me a minute. Marvelous, I tell you, marvelous. Let's see, look at here. I know it's hard with all this steam, but like I said, you got to keep whisking it. Keep whisking it, and I'm going to show you the difference in the consistency. The difference in the consistency. So here we go now. So you saw how I was at first. And man, this tastes really, really good. All that turkey broth. I didn't use no chicken broth. I didn't use any turkey broth. I didn't use anything to add flavor to what's already flavored. Everything in this is strictly business. This is the turkey broth. And it tastes better than the chicken broth. It's absolutely marvelous. I'm going to take another taste because it is so good. And like I say, I season the water. I season the turkey. I season the carrots and potatoes and the celery. So look at here. Look at here. Tell me what you think they look like. Woo, 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 woo. Hello, hello, hello. My. So now I'm getting ready to turn the fire down because I'm getting ready to add the cooked ingredients. Okay? And since they're cooked, they don't need to be cooked anymore. All I want them to do is get all that saturation, that deliciousness, that loveliness. So like I said, I'm not going to add all the turkey. This is the turkey. So I'm going to add some of that turkey meat because I don't want it to be, I want the sauce, okay? So there's the turkey. And I'm going to add some of these potatoes and some of these carrots. Whoa, that was a big carrot, okay? So now I'm going to stir it. Yes, yes, yes. Delicious. Whoo-cha. Yes, yes, yes. You see what I got working here? You see it? Don't that look good? It sure look good to me. Look at here. Wow. Oh, I even added the fat. I don't eat the fat, but it's delicious for flavor. So let's look in this pot. Let's get a good look in this pot. How that look? Okay, so I'm going to add a few more carrots. Like I say, everything is already cooked. The carrots are cooked. The potatoes are cooked. And now, does this look like a pot pie to you? Don't that look good? And I don't want to stir it too much because I want the potatoes to be pretty much whole. Like so. See the potatoes? See the potatoes? Yes. I want the potatoes to be whole. You know, and I want the chunks of meat to be whole. Okay? Now, people might say, oh, you're messing it up. But I'm going to add some Brussels sprouts to here. Yes, yes, yes. See my Brussels sprouts? I'm going to, okay. You can never, ever, 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 never get enough vegetables, okay? So here we go. Woo-wee. What's in your kitchen? See how delicious that look? Look at them potatoes and the Brussels sprouts. Oh, my, mouthful of goodness. And you got all that good turkey in there. And if I wanted to, which I might, because there's so many vegetables in there, I'm going to add some more turkey. How about that? You like? Will that make you happy? Makes me happy. So I added some more turkey. Okay, so now this is ready. This is ready. What do you think? That look good? That look good? Look at there. Potatoes, turkey, carrots. A turkey stew. A turkey stew. Okay. I'll be back when I get ready to eat. Okay? I'm loving it. And you see the thickness of it? You see the thickness where everything is clinging to every morsel. You know, it's not liquidy. It's not. Look at there. Be back in a minute.